Hey guys, it's Haley and welcome to another bookish video. So today I have something a little bit different for you guys. We are actually going to be doing book recommendations based on your zodiac sign. So for every zodiac sign, I have a book recommendation and some explanation as to why I chose that book. But also, we have a sponsor for this video, so thank you to AOVILA for sponsoring this video. I will link them down below for you guys to check out. They have all of these cool spiritual items, mainly crystals, which I am so excited to show you guys some of their crystals. And the reason why this video is zodiac themed is because they have these sets. And you guys, I'm dying over them. They're literally perfect. I'm just gonna go ahead and show you guys. They have these zodiac themed crystal sets. I'll just show you the Gemini one because I'm a Gemini. First of all, look at the box it comes in. It's literally so pretty. There is the name of the company if you want to look them up. They also ship from Amazon, so super fast, super convenient. But let's see what's inside. Okay, so they give you like a little card explaining each crystal, and then you open up and you can see 6 crystals and then an explanation for each one and why it's good for a Gemini. And I've been honestly really into especially this one. This is the citrine and it's the stone of success. It brings good luck, wealth, and prosperity for a Gemini. And I, if you don't know, just took my licensing exam, my therapy licensing exam, and I passed, so congrats to me. But I'm not gonna give all the credit to the crystal, but I was studying with this crystal and it was a fun little experience. It's very grounding actually to just hold something cold. My supervisor, who is kind of like guiding me in my journey of becoming a licensed therapist, she holds like rocks and crystals during sessions. Very grounding experience just to feel that grounding object. So that's what I've been using this one in particular for, but they're all so beautiful. Like this one is the tiger's eye, and then we have the green fluorite right here, the labradorite, which is really interesting. I like looking at the patterns on this one, the green aventurine, and then finally the blue apatite. So that is my set, and I'll go through and show you the sets for all of the other zodiac signs really quick before we get into the book recommendations. So let's just start at the top with Aries. Here is the Aries set. Oh, the card just flew out. And these are so beautiful. I like that the Aries ones are like so colorful and chaotic, just like the Aries personality. Again, this one comes with the citrine and I just love it. And I love that this piece of citrine is different from the one in the Gemini set. They're all so unique and cut differently. This amethyst is also so beautiful just to look at. I am obsessed with these sets. They would also make a really great gift going into the holiday season. If you know somebody who likes crystals, like zodiac signs, maybe a witchy friend, then I think this would be a great gift. Moving on to the Taurus set. Let me take out the card. Again, so unique and so beautiful. And then we have the Cancer set. My brother's a Cancer. Look at that. Ooh, look at this one, Carnelian. That is really unique. That one is to promote positive life choices and motivation, which is so perfect for a Cancer. My brother is literally the most indecisive human being on the planet. And then we have the Leo set. My dad's a Leo. Ooh, oh my God. I love the Leo set. If you're a Leo, I feel like you're so lucky. Like, especially this piece of garnet. Oh my God, it's just like the perfect size to ground you. And let's see what garnet does for the Leo. To stabilize the Leo's mood and reduce unnecessary troubles caused by carelessness. You see how these are like so tailored to your personality? I think that's so cool. Sorry we had to pause there in looking at the sets because my upstairs neighbor literally vacuums every 2 days. I don't know what they're vacuuming up, but I was gonna give her a chance to stop and she's not. So please bear with me. I'm sorry if you can hear the vacuuming noises, but let's go ahead and get into the Virgo set. Here is this one. Oh, with this beautiful piece of tiger's eye in there. Love that one. Next up, we have the Libra set. I have a ton of Libras in my life. I don't know about like compatibility with zodiac signs, but I'm a Gemini. I'm very attracted to Libras. I don't know what that means, but look at this one. This one's so pretty with this black obsidian. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, this black obsidian for grounding again and protecting against negativity. We love that. Up next, we have Scorpio, and here is that Scorpio set. Ooh, that black obsidian again is so beautiful. And we have Sag, the Sagittarius set, and I know who this is going to be given to after I film this collab. I'm giving this to my bestie who is Sagittarius. To love these. Crystals can be very therapeutic, very spiritual. Take it from me. I am so excited to start using these for grounding. I will keep crystals in my office when I open up my private practice as soon as I get fully licensed. Moving on, here's the Capricorn set. Ooh, oh, look at that cut of tiger's eye. It's just so beautiful. And then we have Aquarius. Oh, I love this box. And my fiance is an Aquarius, so very water forward. I love this green fluorite in there for the water sign. And finally, we have Pisces, the last sign. Here is a look at the Pisces set. So I hope you guys enjoyed getting a quick look and unboxing for each of those crystal sets. And again, I will leave more information down below where you can purchase these sets. And thank you again for AOVILA for sponsoring this video. Now let's go ahead and get into the book recommendations. I'm just gonna start back at the top with Aries. And you guys are, like I mentioned in the beginning, kind of chaotic. You're opinionated. You can be slightly impulsive, but that leads to a lot of spontaneity and creativity. However, you can be a little impatient. And I was thinking, if you want something to match that crazy chaotic energy with a character who also feels very Aries, she is very impulsive, so much so that she has to lock herself in her apartment to keep herself from killing people, you need to read The Girl in 6E by A.R. Torre. If you haven't heard me talk about this book, it's one of my favorites of all time. Definitely one of my top favorites that I've read this year. It is a romantic suspense thriller following, like I said, a girl who is a sociopath. She's very impulsive. She will kill people. So she locks herself in her apartment and becomes a cam girl until one day she experiences something online that makes her want to leave her apartment. Next up, we have the Taurus book recommendation. And you guys are the bull because you are very stubborn, very resistant to change. You guys are homebodies. You just like to chill. You like things to be calm. You like stability. And if anyone tries to slightly disrupt that, or if you even perceive someone's trying to do that, even when they're not trying to do that, you will be annoying as hell. So my recommendation for Taurus is Beach Read by Emily Henry. I feel like January, the main female character in this book, is such a Taurus. She is so resistant to change. She is grieving and it's very hard for her. She's opening up to a new relationship and that change is also very hard for her. And she's kind of put in this environment where it is a lot of change and it is a little overwhelming, but it's about her journey figuring that out, and not only her own personal growth, but figuring out how she can function in a relationship with Gus, who is a fellow writer, and they are living in two beach houses next door to each other, writing their books. They meet each other and challenge each other to write from the other person's genre. More and more change that they have to be comfortable with. I think this pairing is perfect. And next up, we have, of course, Gemini, which is my sign. And us Geminis, we are funny, we are loud, we are charismatic, we are performers. And because we are performers, we're always looking at our audience analyzing, we're very perceptive. What mask do I need to put on for my audience right now? And that makes us very insecure and liable to overanalyze and overthink everything, which is very much me. So for the Geminis, I would recommend The Humans by Matt Haig. This is one of my favorite books ever. It was one of my top 5 favorites of last year. And I chose this one because it is funny. It is charismatic. It has that cutting, sarcastic sense of humor that I love, but it also is very analytical and looks at the human race from the perspective of an alien that has come down and taken over a human's body, and he's trying to figure out how to live and cope on our planet. He's very mystified by a lot of things that are going on here, and eventually he adjusts, and we're following his journey doing that. So I absolutely love this book. I cannot recommend it enough. All of the books that I'm recommending in this video are some of my die-hard top favorites, so really highly recommend them, even if you're not a Gemini. Please read this. Next up, we have the Cancer. And you Cancers are emotional, you're sensitive, kind of like a Taurus where you like predictable things. You like to be stable, you like to know what's coming next. And that is why I chose Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell. I know what you're thinking, Hailey, what do you mean? This is a thriller. How is it predictable? How is it emotional? Well, I think Lisa Jewell is really talented in that she creates these characters that you really feel an emotional connection to, you really care about, and you're really rooting for throughout the story. And that is very evident in this book. It is also a more predictable thriller. You kind of know what's happening, and the thrilling aspect is just watching it all unfold and dreading knowing what's coming. It is about a woman who lost her daughter. She went missing years and years ago, and she starts dating this new man, opening herself up and coming out of her grief. And his daughter is eerily similar to the daughter that she lost. Next up, we have Leo. You guys have big personalities. You're creative, you're bold, and you always want to be the center of attention. Even if other people don't want to give it to you, you will snatch that title away from whoever's the loudest in the room, and you will become the center of attention. So for that reason, I would recommend The Hunting Wives by May Cobb. This is all about narcissistic and privileged Southern women, okay? It's just a little small town thriller about these Dallas society women, is what it seems like to me. And one of them becomes a little bit too obsessed with the main Regina George character of the friend group, and I don't even want to give away any more than that because I think you should go in semi-blind with this one. It is so good, so twisty, highly recommend. Next up, we have Virgos, and you guys are perfectionists, and that's what I love about you. But you can also be judgmental when other people aren't as perfect as you are. You need to feel useful and purposeful, and if you don't, you start to feel really insecure. And that is why I chose How Not to Die Alone by Richard Roper. This is all about our main character, who is 100% a perfectionist. Everything he does has to be to a T, but he's looking for that purpose in life. Even though everything is matched up how it should be, he's still feeling like something is missing, and it's his journey working through that, opening himself up to someone new. It's kind of a contemporary story of this man, first of all, but it also has some romance elements and some elements of trauma. I think there are a lot of trigger warnings in here, so please be careful if you decide to read this one. Look them up before you do. Now, my Libras, I love my Libras. You guys are empathetic, you're compassionate, you're understanding, but you're also very conflict avoidant and anxious people, which is why I function so well with my Libra friends, because I'm like, no, I will force you to talk about this. I will force you to hang out with me. You can't avoid me. Hey, queen, it's me. And for the Libras, I am recommending A Man Called Ove. This is a very empathetic and compassionate, just heartwarming story about this old man becoming reintegrated into his community after avoiding it after the death of his one true love. And he is definitely a Libra 100%. Next up, we have Scorpios, and y'all are kind of crazy. Y'all kind of scare me, I can't lie. You are fearless. You have no fear of anything except for vulnerability and letting people in your crazy walls that you set. And talking to you and trying to get to know you is honestly a trip, which is why I would recommend Night Film by Marisha Pessl. This is one of my favorite books of all time, one of the first horror books that made me just addicted to the genre. We're following the disappearance / alleged suicide of the daughter of a kind of cult classic horror movie director, and his horror movies are crazy, they're graphic, and a ragtag team of quirky characters team up to solve this mystery and figure out what is going on with this guy's films, and it is just an absolute trip. These characters are completely fearless, just like a Scorpio would be. Next up, we have the Sagittarius, and I love you guys. You guys are flighty, you're spontaneous, you're unafraid of change. You will do whatever you need to do to have a good time, honey. I love that you explore, but it's also really hard for you to just sit down and focus, and that is why I'm recommending you Local Woman Missing by Mary Kubica, because this will keep your attention. You don't need to fly around because this plot will do it for you. I swear there's like a million different plot points in here. It is a super exciting thriller following the disappearance of 3 different women who you're trying to figure out how they're connected. I'm not going to give you any more than that. Just read it. It's so good. Next up, we have the Capricorn, and I feel like you guys get a bad rap for being the boring sign. You're disciplined, you're pragmatic, you're responsible, but you're really special. It takes you a long time to open up and trust someone because you're loyal fiercely and you want someone to earn that trust, which is why I'm recommending Second First Impressions by Sally Thorne. I do own this book, but my friend is currently borrowing it from me, which is why I'm going to insert a picture here. But I would recommend Second First Impressions because our main character in this contemporary romance is very much pragmatic and disciplined, and our main male love interest has to really fight for her trust and to get her to open up to him. And when they finally do, it is such a cute romance. It's kind of grumpy sunshine, light enemies to lovers, kind of like light enemies to friends to lovers. Highly recommend. Next up, we have the Aquarius, and I would know because my fiance is an Aquarius. You guys are like the quirky emo character that's like on the outside of the friend group. Like you're not in the friend group, but you're like on the outside and everybody knows you're there, and you're like kind of mysterious, but you kind of like it that way. You love your independence. You love being a loner. You love having unpopular opinions and just being overall quirky, but you can be distant and extremely hard to read, which is why I am recommending Act Your Age, Eve Brown by Talia Hibbert. This is another one of my favorite contemporary romances that I've read this year. It follows the third Brown sister, if you haven't read the other Brown sister books. The series follows 3 sisters in their journey to find love, and Eve is kind of the quirkiest person to ever live. She doesn't really fit in any place specifically, much like an Aquarius, so she is looking for the place where she can find her life's path and build on her passions, and she finally finds a place to be accepted and not be so distant when she meets the owner of a bed and breakfast and she starts working for him after she hits him with his car. That's a whole other thing. Just read this book because it is so charming and quirky, but not in an annoying way, in an adorable way. And finally, getting to our last book recommendation for Pisces. I love you guys because you're fantastical. You romanticize your life. You make everything deep, but you can easily get trapped inside your head ruminating about everything since you make everything so deep. And that's why I would recommend you The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Turton. I absolutely love this book. It is a sci-fi fantasy thriller kind of thing, and I want you to read it going in completely blind. So I'm kind of having trouble giving you an explanation as to why I chose this. Just know it is that deep. It is that deep. So you little Pisces who are thinking that it's that deep, it is that deep. And you can ruminate about it all day long. I did. My mind was blown when I read this book. So that is it for all of my book recommendations for each zodiac sign. I hope you guys got a good recommendation for yourself, or honestly, you can just read any of these books no matter what your zodiac sign is. And I hope you guys like seeing the unboxing of all the crystals. Make sure you go check them out. Again, AOVILA has these sets, which are so beautiful, but also a ton more crystal spiritual healing products on their website. So check that out below, and thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.